I made the trek out to one of my usual Tailor spots, but the conditions were really bad. There was seaweed all up and down the beach. There was still a good wind direction for lure casting, and although the waves were dumping right in front of me, they weren't huge at this point. Having said that, as the tide came in, the weed just got worse and worse and worse. I'm just going to run through a few of the different tips that I use when I'm trying to fish these conditions. First off, I stick to the surface or the top column of water. So using metals is fine, but you really want to just rip them across the top. You just want to keep one single hook on as well. So if you're using a stick bait, I take off the middle treble and just put one single hook on the back, and I always point that hook to the sky. I like to also hold the rod tip higher than usual. Usually when I'm fishing for tailor, I almost have my rod horizontal so I can work the lure better. But here I'll keep it high to keep the line out of the water. You basically want to keep the line out of water to have less chance of weed getting over the top of that line and getting it fouled up. You can vary the speed of the lure, but I avoid pauses again just to keep that line out of the water. Also, on a really weedy beach, you're still going to find patches which are okay. Sometimes you'll find on one side of a reef it'll be really packed up with weed, and it'll be okay on the other where it's protected a little bit. You can also look into the waves to see how bad the weed is. I'd go with the FG knot, so if you're pulling in big chunks of weed, you're less likely to snap off your leader, as well as it's a lot slimmer, so you also get less weed fouling up on the knot. If you've driven or taken a big trip to try and go fishing, just go for it. Who cares if you lose a few lures? Just manage your expectations. Sometimes just getting one fish in conditions like this is awesome. Got a lovely hook up, so I'm literally legging it down the beach here. I'm trying to pull it across away from the reef and these huge patches of weed. So I've got my rod tip up really high. As you can see, you can't even see my rod because I'm holding it almost above my head. I'm trying to keep that line out of the water while the fish is getting pulled in. So keeping that rod tip up nice and high. I've got the Monsoon Breaker zip bait with a single 2-0 hook on it. So I know if the hook's in its mouth, I'm not going to have a treble that's going to connect up with too much seaweed. So I've really just got to keep the line out of the water, which is a lot different to when you're usually tailor fishing, where I'm almost got the rod right horizontal because I don't want it to breach. But here, I just don't want it to get caught up in all the seaweed. Landed the bastard. Beautiful tailor. Middle treble gone, single hook. That pattern on the zip bait is unreal too. What I forgot to mention on my list is don't get cocky. I chucked on the SSM with the 2 stock trebles just for a bit of fun, thinking I'd stick to the surface. Here I make a crucial mistake. I didn't clear this little bit of weed on my line here. Basically, when I went to cast out, that little bit of weed slid all the way down my line and laid it over the surface of the water. I didn't really notice until I started to drill in, and I got a bloody good hit from a tailor as well. Again, I leg it to the left to try and pull the tailor away from the reef, but my line is under the water and already covered in weed. So here I'm trying to pull it in and out. I've got it sped it up because I'm here for ages trying to get my lure back. I don't even know if the fish is on by this point because there's that much weed, and that wave is just sucking it in and out, putting more weed on and on and on. I've only got 10-pound line on as well, so I've got 10-pound braid and 20-pound leader, and I've got an FG knot. The FG knot held up really well. I was surprised I didn't snap off earlier. Ideally, I would have been using heavier gear here, 20-30 pound braid and maybe a 5,000 reel. I only have my 3,000 reel on today, which is a bit of a mistake. There you go, the line goes slack, leader is snapped. I did mention that losing lures is a part of fishing weedy conditions. It still bloody sucks. Thanks for watching anyway. For more videos, please subscribe. Feel free to ask any questions in the comment section.